Hey, what's up, guys? It's The Real LLC. We're talking about women in construction today, but we've got a real special guest, Habitat for Humanity, and we've got Danielle with us today, and we've got Brittany with us today. Two women in the industry of construction, home building, home sales. Brittany is a realtor, but I think you have really set the bar pretty high. We've done a lot of events with you, and we're fixing to do another one with the Habitat for Humanity where the girls are doing the building. And I really like that for this month because we're talking a lot about women in construction. So tell me a little bit about the event that's coming up, what the dates are, the one that we're going to be part of. Tell me how that works.
All right, so Women Build is by far one of my most favorite things that we do, of course. So it just recently kicked off. So we always start the event with a pink champagne party. It's very fun. It's open to women in the industry, but also the community. Men do come. We let them be part of the gentleman committee, but it's really female-centric, and that's the point of the event. So we had that. The fundraising portion goes for about 6 weeks. And we're only a little bit into that aspect. So the fundraising ends on April 22nd. And at that point, we get back together for what we call a pre-build celebration, which is on April 27th. The date or the location is still being determined. It'll be announced pretty soon. And that event is to really celebrate the success of everyone that's participated. We share how much money we've raised. They get to meet the family that's going to be in the house that they're building for. And then from there, we roll right into the hands-on portion of the event, which is the volunteerism, which happens, the kickoff for that will be May 6th. And essentially, women builders can come as an individual or as a team. And the intent is for ladies to get to know one another. Maybe they don't have a group that wanted to come out with them, and we're able to pair them with somebody else on the job site. They get to come out, have some fun, get to know somebody, and it's super fun.
Do people get weirded out by women helping build? Is that like a thing, or?
Well, it's the modern age, but there's always still some comments, and I just divert them. I'm like, this is the best group of women you'll ever have build this house. So I do love it when some of my older construction leads might say something like that, and then they're like, they were so hardworking, they were awesome and on point, and I said, yeah, of course they were.
And it's in May. I mean, for Florida, they're pretty brave.
Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah,
it's hot.
But I can settle that debate because I'm involved in construction and we have women that put roofs on, and they're some of the best roofers we've ever had. So it's not an issue at all. Like, they can actually do just as good, if not better, than the men, and they can actually outlast in the heat. They're just phenomenal part of the industry that people don't realize.
Detail oriented is also.
And they're able to keep a group together. So like if you have a group, that you can trust them more. Like, they keep them more like central, like they're just a better group usually when there's a woman involved. It just is what it is. I'm just telling you my experience. And they'll work just as hard.
Right here.
Yeah. How do you get women involved? Like, how do you get them to start building and find out what's going on?
Yeah. So clearly we already have a lot of women that work with us and through different things. Maybe they've never heard about Women Build, but they've entered our sphere somehow, usually through volunteerism. We also have some homeowners that come back and work with us, which I love that. I love that when we built a house for someone last year, maybe it's a female. We have a lot of single female households that we serve, and they want to come back and be involved, and so they'll come back and they'll do Women Build. So, but we put it on our website. We have social media, different things like that. Out in the community, we have good partners who work with us, who promote it to their employees. So there's a whole range. People are retired, not retired, It's a good group.
So how do you become eligible to, like, who lives in the house? How does that even work?
Sure. So a Habitat program is based off of 3 main things. So for new home construction, because we have another repair program, so specifically speaking to new home construction, the family basically has to have a need. They have to have a need for the housing. And then they have to income qualify. So you need to make enough money to be able to pay your affordable mortgage, but not so much money that you don't need our help and you can just go buy a house on the housing market, which is very challenging right now for almost anybody. And then you have to have, around a 640 or higher credit score. So many people come to us and they are not even remotely close to being ready. And so we coach and counsel them on what they can do, proactive steps to be ready. And then we go from there. So it's first come, first qualified.
How many homes are you guys building?
So this year we're building 11, or we're wrapping up those builds, and we're working our way towards closer to 20 in the next couple of years is my goal. So, you know, I'll look a lot older in 3 years, but.
Wow, that's awesome. So how do you pick a place to put the homes in? Is it like a whole neighborhood that you build or just a certain location?
So it's both. So we do infill. We work with the municipal partners. So that's one main way we get land is they're willing to donate it to us because we have to underwrite the cost of construction somehow to keep things as affordable as possible. So we do that through lots of layering is the best way for me to explain it. So we do have infill lots, but we're also doing subdivisions and development. So in Tavares, we have our first 23 housing unit that's about to kick off. I just got my first 2 permits. So very exciting. I've been working on that project a very long time.
Wow,
that's impressive.
that is awesome. I know for us, we've got a lot of girls that work in the office. They can pretty much build a roof from every aspect, right? They know all the details. And so they're super excited to come out and help on that build that's coming up. But they're really excited to do it together. They love to do these events together. And really at the end of the day, like we benefit so much as a company because of the experience that they get to have outside of work or the friendships that they make
Right.
or like the culture that it can actually change or the fact that it's actually changing somebody's life. Like it can help somebody like just jumpstart them into their life and we're being able to be a part of that. So I feel like at the end of the day, like the homeowner that gets the home, they get a beautiful thing, right? But we get something far greater sometimes, which is an atmosphere or a culture that we can build on that really makes our people want to stay invested in us and working with us.
Yeah, growing a strong sense of community and feeling like you're part of something greater than yourself is a huge core value of Habitat because it's about our homeowners, but it's about everybody else that's in that journey along the way, and they get something out of it too. Sometimes more, like you said. You
Right.
never know.
Well,
Yeah.
if you're a homeowner and you're looking for a contractor, like a lot of times some of the best contractors that you can find are part of these events. Like from what my networking of contractors are, a lot of those people are people that give back to the community, and those are people that you can tend to trust, you know.
How do you get contractors motivated to invest in the community like that and help give back?
Well, so like he said, I mean, a lot of times you'll just meet them because they're already doing something else or they have a very public presence and you can tell that they have a heart for caring about their community. So someone could have all the money in the world, but they're not willing to let it go, then they're not the person for us. So we work, you know, Habitat is the GC, if you will, so we're not necessarily working with that level of person in the industry, but really the subcontractors are the people that come in and work with us and are willing and able to either work with us at a discount or do it for free or just, you know, a fair price because they know that that's not why we're in it. That's not why we're here. We're trying to produce housing for people that otherwise would have no opportunity.
When you're building a home for these new homeowners who are going to have to pay the mortgage on it, and you're having people invest in this home, what does a mortgage look like for somebody like that?
Sure. So most of our families, so what we look at is monthly affordability. So it depends on the family size, the county, which determines the area median income, which then determines how much they're going to be able to be lent to. So we do work with third-party lenders. So most of these families' mortgages are around $100,000. So, I mean, I don't think you can find a house anywhere for $100,000. It's not falling apart right now.
Yeah. But does that cost go into the home, and does it usually cover the cost of the home that you're building because of so many people are also involved in it? Is that how it works?
Yeah, so our goal is to be able to get enough cash back at closing to cover the hard cost of construction. And then our philanthropy, our partners who sponsor, do this, individual donors who are giving to support Habitat because they believe in our mission, help keep us a functioning business, right? That's where our profit margin comes in. There's no profit margin in the house itself usually.
So what is the typical value of that $100,000 home at this point in time, and can they sell it? How long do they have to live in the house?
Yeah, so these are really good questions. So typically Habitats look at trying to not mess up the market, right? So we might have a contract that we work with on the family, and we're going to try to give it our best guess based off the square footage and what our sales are. We're usually pretty close. So we sell it at appraised value. So our homes right now are appraising for around $200,000. I remember 3 or 4 years ago, that was $150,000, right? So there's been a significant spike. But there are layers to their mortgage. So they have the first mortgage they pay on. Then they usually have a second mortgage. That's down payment assistance that helps them. That may or may not need to be paid back depending upon if they sell the home within a 10-year period. And then usually Habitat holds a silent third that they don't pay on at all. So what happens is we're protecting the equity in the home so that if the family wants to sell within a year, they can. There's nothing wrong with that. They can do that. But through the sale of the home, they have to pay back all the subsidy that went into that home to begin with. So they still might be walking away with some nice equity and some cash because the market has risen. But
well, that's what I want to know. Like
Yeah.
when you're helping a family that's needs help to move into a home, they probably have children and stuff like this. It's a lot for people to balance. Right now they have a mortgage and they're taking care of their lawns and they're, upkeeping the home. But I want to know, like, how does it project them further in their lives? Like, what are you seeing after they move into these homes and you're giving them such a great foundation to start their family with or have their family in? Where do they go from there?
it's more so about their existing day stability, if that makes sense. So a lot of these people are not in a stable position where they feel secure. They don't feel like they could go back to school. They don't feel like they could change jobs because of what if, right? They're living in this perpetual state of what if something bad could happen. But the second that you're now in your home, that you have an understanding and idea of how to keep it up, because we work with them on that. We work with them on financial literacy and what does it mean to be a homeowner, and that their landlord's not going to jack up their rent or kick them out. So as long as they pay that mortgage, they're good. So it gives them a very sense of calm, right? And a lot of families, they stay in their Habitat house for a long time. Some of them until that mortgage is paid off, and then they're passing it down to their children.
That's what I mean. It's a life-changing thing where it can really propel you into a better life for yourself and your family.
It's a generational wealth tool is what it is. And a lot of the people that we work with, they've never owned a home. No one in their family has ever owned a home. So it's like they're the first ones, and they are so excited. Getting to see them get their keys on the day is like, that's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you. What got you into this Habitat for Humanity? What did you do before, and how did you end up here?
Sure. So I've worked in the nonprofit sector since 2011 in an environmental capacity. And then I lived in Tucson, Arizona at the time. So I worked for a really large nonprofit, a food bank in that community. And I got to see just some really cool stuff and some really great leaders, right? So I'm all about building and propelling people to their highest and best, whatever that is. Whether you want to stay with Habitat or you want to go do something else, I'm going to invest in you because I was invested in when I was younger. And so I got to work with a really fantastic nonprofit. So when I came to Central Florida, I was looking because I truly care about people and the environment. Like, those are my passions. So I think anyone working in the sector has to really care about the mission that they're living out. Otherwise, don't do it, So for me, I've been with Habitat 8 years. I moved to Central Florida from Arizona about 10 years ago. I helped open up the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts, which was super fun. Once again, not my calling. So when I got the Habitat position, I was hired on as a fund development manager. They didn't have any philanthropy department. They had nothing. So I built everything from scratch and then slowly started bringing other people in. And I took over as the CEO about a year ago.
Wow. One of my favorite events every year is the Jingle Build Off. And if you live here in Lake County and you don't know about this, it is a really cool event. I want you to tell us more about it. But for me as a business, we get to go in there with our team and build these houses for these kids. And it's life-changing. Like, we wait every year for it. And we were talking about it earlier with our employees and our team members. Like, once the house is built, they don't want to leave. They want to wait till the kids come.
Yeah.
Because that's what we did it for, right?
Yeah.
Like, so tell us about the Jingle Build Off and how it works, how people can get signed up for it, what time of year it is. Because for us, it's really how I met you.
Yeah.
And I want to do it every year from here on out for the rest of my life.
I love it. So it is a playhouse building competition. That's the easiest way to say it. So teams from the community, they pay to enter into the competition, and they get kind of free reign. We have like a base kit for the playhouse, but we give, some guidelines, some everything, but teams get to be as creative as they want and take it from the base, which Eustace Roofing always does, like, over the top. Their playhouse is always fantastic. But this event is the first Saturday in December every year. You can build the playhouse in advance if you need to for some reason, if you want to participate, but you can't be there that day. So that's possible. But we really encourage and like people to do it on the site because there's just so much energy that comes along with it, and that's also when the children show up. So every team is paired with a low-income child in the community who otherwise their parent or guardian will maybe never be able to buy this for them. And they're designing and building it for that child or children. Like one of the families had 7 kids trying to jam into this little playhouse. And so it's an all day long thing. And then at the end is the reveal. When all the families come, they get to meet the team that was building their playhouse. We get that playhouse delivered to their house. And for me, it's a good way for a child who might not have that family stability, might not have ever lived in a house of their own, to even just get thinking about like, oh, well, maybe I could have a house. Like they learn how to play house young. And so there's that too. So I like that.
So we're seeing a lot of rising cost everywhere we go, grocery stores, electric bills, everything like this. Are you seeing more of a need in our local community than we ever had before, or is it still about the same?
I definitely have seen increased need. So to give you a little bit of an idea, so when we open applications for homes in the past, it was maybe like 25 applications to one home. This past year was 50 to 1. And we can't serve all of those people. So that's my program director. I'm like, you have one of the hardest jobs ever. She's dealing with all the families. Some of them, they're not maybe on the housing spectrum that Habitat serves. So that's the other part is there's a lack of coming in on the entry level of maybe affordable rent, transitional, that type of thing. It's not prevalent in Lake County. So there's been significant increase in need. Mm-hmm.
Well, when we talk about the Jingle Build Off and we're talking about women in construction right now, like to me, that's the build off was perfect for that because the girls in the office were able to like bring their artwork and they design it for us. And then they bring the guys together and then the guys are able to help. And it's a team effort. And at the end of the day, they all respect each other. They got to see each other's talents. And then there's just this amazing team effort, team building, culture shock that changes your business. And then we all get to see the kids, accept the house, right? Like that's the best part. Like I know a lot of the girls are crying, and it's like it is very touching to watch that process and the way it happens. And for us, we decided, I know me and Heather, when we got in on this, we decided like, we don't just want to build a house. Right. We want to build something that we can say, hey, we want to set the bar. We don't want to, when we look at ourselves at Eustis River, we don't see ourselves as average. We want to be above average. We want everybody to work to be above average so that we can deliver that to the homeowner, right? Mm-hmm. And so the same thing with the event. How do we do this above average? How do we strive to be the best at it? And then maybe, like people catch on and then the whole event really goes that direction and people are trying to be better. And then who in the end results with the results is the kids. Right. They get a better playhouse, but also the team building and the expectations that we have as a company to try to like build something unique that's going to change this kid's life, that they're probably going to look back. I guarantee you those kids are going to remember that unique house, right? Like when they get older.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I never had a Jurassic Park, playhouse.
Does it get like super competitive?
It gets competitive.
Does it?
But some of the first timers may have never looked at the pictures. They don't know what they're stepping into. Right. And they're like, wait a minute, I could do other stuff. And they're like, yeah, come back next year, step up your game.
That's what I told Heather. I was like, we need to make it so there's some rule changes. Like, what can we do to push the envelope so that next year they have rule changes? And she's just like, yeah, absolutely. Like, we want to bring it. And it's just, obviously the kids win in the end, but we're also setting that culture at our company that like exceed expectations. Like, yeah. And we want to do that with every event that we go to in Lake County is like, we want to make it so that when we show up, they're like, okay, we got to do better because Eustis is coming. Yeah. It's cool to us, and it's a goal for us to be able to do that, to provide that for the community, even just to have that mindset.
I wonder if the kids are like, I want Eustis, or I want this other.
They're like, look at that one. Yeah. No, definitely. Everybody's busy. So one of the biggest challenges in construction is finding the time to do something other than what you should be doing, which is your job. But to your point, I think it creates a fantastic dynamic in the company that you just, people want to work for you because you do cool
What
things.
a cool way to show families too how you're invested in the community. And then hopefully those kids, they see that too. And maybe one day they do own their own home and they can invest back into the community as well.
Yeah. We call it habititis.
Oh, that's cute.
Nice.
Have you gotten habititis?
That's
It's a good
cool.
thing.
Infectious.
Sounds weird, yeah. I don't say it. The volunteers say it.
I mean, you're kind of documented now, but that's fine.
Yeah. I went on record. Oh, no.
One of the things for us too is like, so it's what's unique about this build off. If it's downtown Tavares, and it's right before the parade. So all these people come to go to the parade, and they're able to walk through and see all these houses, right? And for us, for me, I get these pictures from our employees that are there for the parade.
Right.
And they're like, look at this house that we built, or like they might not have had been there to build it, but they're proud that they were a part of a company that built that house, and their kids are all in it, and they're taking pictures of it. So it just keeps spreading. Like it's something that goes throughout the entire company where like, I'm proud to work there. I see that we built this, we're involved in this, and then their kids are there. And then for us, the outreach for us isn't just the person putting the roof on, it's the entire family. So for the kids to see, something like for us this year, we did a special roof on it to show something unique that you probably won't see on those homes. Really nice, expensive metal roof system. And
It was.
and
Those
our
kids are
guys
like, ooh, I love my roof.
yeah, but
It's the last 50 years.
yeah,
My
it's definitely going to
grandkids can
outlast
play
the house. But I mean, it was like, we're a roofing company.
Right.
We need to bring it when it comes to the roof. And then I can't tell you how many people called us and like, hey, I want that roof that was down there at the Jingle Build Off. What was that?
Right.
And I was like, yeah, it's a metal roof. It's what we specialize in. And so it was really cool.
You may be training kids to work for Eustace Roofing one day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I can guarantee it.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
great. We will take everybody. But I know it's a really cool event. And sometimes, I don't know if you know this, but that event will kickstart other things that we do. So your effect in the community you might think it's only with Habitat for Humanity, but sometimes it's the gasoline for the fire for us to go out and do other things in the community. It kind of gets us started and gets a fresh start. And I believe it probably happens with more people than just us. So I don't know if you realize sometimes the impact that you're having on the community goes far further than you might know.
I hope it does. I really do. I hope it does.
Cool.
Carry the torch. All the good people carry it.
Good people carry the torch.
That's right.
All right, so we're trying to raise some funds because we want to be a part of this Women in Construction and build off, or not a build off, but actually building for the Habitat for Humanity. And so I want to bring Heather in. Come on in, Heather. Heather is kickstarting us off, getting our women involved in your event.
All right.
And we want to know more about it. We really want to know, I know there's some fundraising, right? That we can raise some funds for the Habitat for Humanity to build these houses, for women in construction to be a part of it. And I know that my office is really excited about it. So can you give us some details about that, Heather, about how to fund this event, how to support us at Eustace Roofing so that we can go here and build something that's all women involved?
Absolutely. So if you check out our webpage, our Facebook page, we do have a link out there for the Habitat for Women's Build. And thank you for being here today. It's great seeing you again. On there, once you click on there, you can either join our team, you can also participate and raise your own funds, or you can go ahead and just donate to our group as Eustace Roofing as a whole. So that's the easiest ways to visit our Facebook page.
How much do you have to raise?
As much as you want.
Is there like a special, don't you get pink hats or something if the team?
We do get pink hats. I forget the dollar limit on the pink
we
hats.
need to know
It's $1,500 to be entered into the Sisterhood of the Pink Hard Hats
Is it $1,500 per person on the team or for the team?
per person.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I think we set the goal for we were modest with just $5,000. So, I mean, if we can get there, I think we would be really happy to be able to reach that goal. And just knowing that it's staying within our community and going to the 55 plus community, I think it's a pretty wonderful
Yeah, we're
project.
very excited.
Mhm.
Quick question on that. What's the most you've ever raised for one of those?
For Women Build particularly, or
A team, yeah.
a person or a team?
Team.
Okay, so probably close to 15,000.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, one of the women raised like a little over 9,000 by herself.
Wow.
How did she
So,
do that?
She's in construction.
Had to be like pretty prominent.
And this
Yeah.
is in Lake County?
Yeah, she works for the Villages. So, yeah, she was our top fundraiser last year.
Wow.
Yeah, she did a fabulous job. Some other women at that time were like neck and neck competing, and they were like, Danielle, I was watching the ticker, and then she got a $5,000 gift to put her up here, and I said,
They're out.
yeah, yeah.
I'm pretty competitive.
That's-
She's
yeah.
a wonderful lady. And
Yeah.
I got to meet her at the kickoff for
Yeah.
the event.
So
Yeah.
what are the dates that you're going to actually build? Like, what are those dates?
I believe it's in May from what I've seen. I don't know the actual date.
Yeah, so May 6th is when it'll start. So you guys as a team for Eustace Roofing will get to pick whatever day that you want. So Lacey and her team in the Habitat office will reach out to all the participants, and you guys will coordinate with the team captains and determine what day it is that you want to be on the job site. So
Wonderful.
You
We're
know.
excited.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're super excited. I'm sure we're going to find a unique way to raise some money so that we can provide a home for, is it for a woman or just anybody?
it is a woman.
Nice.
So this is an age-restricted community, but it is a woman. So you
Okay.
will get to meet her soon.
All right.
Cool.
Well, we're excited about that. We want to raise some money. We need your help. If it's available, help us out. There's going to be a link on the page. We can't wait to be a part of it. Obviously, it's the women that are involved, but we're going to support them in any way that we can. We appreciate all the stuff that you guys do and getting our creativity going as far as Eustace Roofing to be able to do these events and to build our team and to build our culture and to build our atmosphere. And to me, this is an awesome, awesome opportunity.
It is.
Yeah. Thank
you.
you.
Thank
you guys.